Welcome to the Comeback Blueprint podcast, hosted by Michael Sawan. This is the show about rebuilding after setbacks, burnouts, and life-changing moments. Real stories, real struggles, real comebacks. If you're in a season of change, you're in the right place. Welcome to another episode of the Comeback Blueprint podcast. Today's guest is Natalie Gauci. Now, most Australians met Natalie in 2007 when she won Australian Idol, going from music teacher to national spotlight in almost overnight. Her winner's single, Here I Am, became a national hit. Her debut album went platinum, and suddenly she was living the dream millions of people imagined for themselves. But behind the success, the applause, the public image, was a much deeper story that was unfolding. And boy, we love that here on this podcast. A story that was shaped by trauma, pressure, addiction, identity struggles. A much deeper story, one of emotional cost when it came to rebuilding your worth around external validation. This conversation is about what happens when success doesn't fix the pain you thought it would, and the long journey of learning who you truly are when the noise disappears. Natalie, an absolute pleasure to have you on the Comeback Blueprint podcast.
Thanks, Michael. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. We could do this all day. It's wonderful. Now, I'm sure people will be like, get to the idol bit, but I love to unpack things, and
Cool.
I want to take a walk down memory lane and all that.
Okay.
You were a teacher once. You were doing other things in life when you were younger, which is only a few years ago. What did success really represent to you emotionally?
Back then,
Yeah.
I think it was about wanting to achieve being the highest achiever at what I do, what I felt like was a gift to me. And gosh, I think music was a joy for me. Singing was a joy. It was my little secret that I had that no one else had. And I really didn't know how good I was. I didn't know. I was just doing it and enjoying
We
it.
knew.
I didn't know. I knew that I had something special, definitely. But I didn't realize. And so for me, it was about hitting the most perfect notes and the best notes I could hit. And then when I discovered I could write music, I would just sit at the piano and sing for hours and
Yeah.
hours and hours. And I could play trumpet. I could, do other instruments as well. So it was my hideaway. And when I had this, I'll tell you a funny story quickly. So when
Take your time.
I got a scholarship to go to the Victorian College of the Arts in the high school, and I got in on 3 instruments. I had 3 majors. I had piano, trumpet, and singing. And singing was on the bottom of the list. It was
Yeah.
never at the top. Trumpet
Wow.
was at the top for me. I was doing big band, concert band, and I loved playing in the band. So when I was in ensemble and I'd gone to VCA, the trumpet players were way better than me. I couldn't improvise like they could, but I could with my voice. And I remember the teacher, his name was Rob Burke, and he's still out there. He's an amazing coach and mentor and saxophone player. And he said, look, we're doing Lover Man. It's Nina Simone. We need a singer. And he brought the microphone out, and nobody was putting their hand up to do it. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, I've never sung jazz in my life, but I'll give it a go. And I said, I'll do it. So I put the trumpet down. He gave me the SM58 and he said, all right, here you go. And I don't know what happened. The melody got into my head after hearing it once. And I was able to sing it with the band straight away. And he came up to me at the end and he said, Natalie, it's all right. You can leave your trumpet at home, take this microphone and bring it back next week. And I said, cool. And that honestly changed my life.
Yeah.
Because then I realized what I was meant to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And for someone who didn't know jazz, and then I listened to your rendition of Orange Colored Skies, and I'm like, yeah, I think you know your jazz. You definitely do. It's just a
I
hidden
lived
talent.
and breathed it. I would go to sleep at night listening to Sarah Vaughan, Nina Simone, Miles Davis. Like it would be on 24/7. I was embedding it into my DNA,
Yeah. Oh, it's my favorite is When the Saints by, is it Louis? What's his name?
Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong. Yeah, him and
Ella?
is it
Is it?
Danny Kaye? I
Oh,
think they do.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's, but that's my sort of jazz connection there.
That's
Um,
very, what do you call it? I can't think of it now. It'll come to
no, it'll
me.
come back. We've got
Yeah.
time, plenty of time.
Yeah.
So you're seeking music as, and I always thought this was an outlet for you, and then obviously did. It
Yeah.
felt like freedom. Um, What about because obviously there are external people who are looking at you going, "This is a hidden talent. Yeah, take your microphone home." Um, what about at home? Did you grow up in an environment that fostered this kind of pathway?
Yes and no. My mum really supported it a lot, to the point where she knew the kind of, I guess, stardom qualities that I had, and so it was always like, what is Natalie doing? Is she nurturing that talent, or is she going out and with her friends, and what is she doing? So
Yeah.
I think I've been very driven from when I was about, I don't know, 8 years old, and I
Wow.
started
It's
as
a
an
fair age
acting.
to get driven.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
started as an actress, so I wanted to be on TV, and so mum put me into a acting agency. And I got jobs straight away. I was doing Flying Doctors, Ocean
Yeah.
Girls, all the commercials, Barbie commercials, and then I started getting into film. I got a diploma by the time I was 12. I was doing musicals by the time I was 13. So my whole acting and theatre career ended at 19. And then it was like music was my kind of gateway, in singing was the gateway to the next pathway. So with acting, the voice is like music is always there, because when you're doing theater, you're singing, but you're acting at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's like you're projecting your voice. But when there's like things at home that aren't exactly balanced, parents arguing, things like that, it's like, well, how am I going to get my emotions out? It's like, I
Correct.
love performing and I love enjoying this, but what am I going to do to release like my deep pains? So I wrote music.
Beautiful.
I sat at the piano and just wrote songs.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, it is. It is. You need the environment to foster. I mean, it was for a small stint in my life. Actually, it was in 2007. Maybe you inspired me. I'm not sure. But I did a stint at the Actors College of Theatre and Television in Sydney, because I fell in love with movie performances, particularly the Oscar-winning ones back then when they had good
Yeah.
caliber. And so I went for screen acting. And I just found that, in my mind, I could frame a scene from a particular movie, and my performance, my delivery was perfect.
Wow.
But when I was put on stage, I realized that I just had no emotional connection to the role, because there was no environment to give me sort of the impetus to act the way I needed to live out that role. So I
That's
mean, I'm coming from a
interesting.
very simple home with young kids. I've got a brother and sister, nothing really major going on. I'm very blessed to grow up in a very sort of nuclear environment. So I come to these performances, and the teacher would give me the most dramatic role ever, where there's like an out, have a like sort of have like a moment of anger, and I just couldn't do it.
Wow.
So I mean, you use that to your advantage, though.
Yeah, I think, well, from my past experience, to get the emotion, I learnt it on Australian Idol,
Yeah,
because I was the same. I would have this wall, when I was singing, and I remember the acting coach, we had a movement acting coach, and he was my savior, honestly, because he said to me, "Natalie, you keep opening your eyes really wide when you're singing, you know?" And I didn't realize.
mm.
And he said, "Have you ever watched your performances back?" I'm like, "Never. I would never watch my performance." He's like, "You need to start watching them." And I was like, "Okay, okay." And it was so painful for me to watch myself back.
A lot of talented
Oh,
people and actors don't, and singers, well, they don't watch
I
the
can't.
performance.
So I
I,
had to. And then I realized, I'm like, I'm not connecting with the song.
yeah,
I'm thinking about what I'm doing. Like, it's like I'm
yes,
out of my body and I'm
um,
thinking about what I'm doing. And it's like, no, 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 you got to be in the moment,
yeah,
feeling the emotion of what you're singing about.
yeah,
So when I realized that, I had to kind of have this, I had to have a bit of counseling with the camera, because when we're younger, especially for me when I was doing acting, it was all about smile, put your voice up, high pitched voice.
yeah,
And I was really bad at that. And so I had to really try hard to be fake, right? And so then I had to unlearn how to be fake and be real. So on the reality show, I had to be real. I had to be me. And it was so hard for me to just remove the cameras and be me. But I did it. And it wasn't till I think well, when was it? Umbrella, or I don't know. It was one of the performances where I was completely in it. And
Yeah.
I remember removing the cameras, removing the audience, and just thinking, here I am. It's just me in my room, and I'm just singing with the music, you
Right.
know? And that is a really, I think, a top skill. And a lot of I realized that's what an artist does. That's a
I
true
think so.
artist.
Absolutely. There's a difference between delivering a line and delivering a scene. You know,
Yeah,
like that was the same with acting. Sorry, with music. It's like it's what's written and what people should hear. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I did listen to Umbrella on Spotify, by the way, guys. I'll plug it for sure. Um, I love that rendition. Actually, really, 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 my all-time favorite one is your rendition of "Running Up That Hill." I just love the
Oh,
song.
yeah.
So anyone that can nail it has got my tick of approval. That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
I would say I was in that song 100% when
Yeah,
I was doing
you
it.
have to be.
Yep,
It's just it connects you. You just go somewhere else. It transforms you.
yep.
So you mentioned earlier that you went through this. We won't say linear, but we went through a path where you got to the point where you're like, okay, now I've moved on to music, right? So
Yeah.
I've taken all the other steps. Um, what was that like realization like in terms of now I've got to do I disconnect from what I was attached to before, or can I now bring it as part of the Natalie ensemble and just be all one person?
Well, you mentioned about success at an early age, and sadly, I guess, maybe not. I think we're all programmed this way at the beginning of life. We have to make money at some point. So,
Yep.
oh, I'm a singer. People are paying me to sing. So now I'm successful. I've had my first gig. I've got my band. I've done my demos. I'm now successful because people are paying me to sing.
Mm.
So that's what equals success at the beginning. That's what it was for me.
Yeah,
I've got
sure.
my band. I'm now running my little business.
Yeah,
People are asking me to sing at their weddings. They
yeah.
love my voice. I'm now, um, organizing myself. And this is 17 years old. So young. But
So
for
it's
some
amazing though.
reason,
It's
I
amazing.
had a mature mind to be able to do all of this stuff and do it myself and engage with people and run the business. But I didn't realize I was doing that because it was natural to me.
Mm.
The other side of it was all my friends were going to university. They wanted to study. They wanted to get a diploma and a thing and a that. I was not interested. And even when I tried, my body would fight it. It didn't want to go to uni and sing. It wanted to be out there singing already, doing gigs,
You're
being a
hungry.
part of life experience. And I did, it's like, even though I tried really hard, my body would not want to do it. I would get sick at an audition or, it just wasn't working. So I just went out there and I just took a lot of risks. Yeah.
And so coming back to the family dynamic, you come from a European background,
Yes.
obviously. The idea that you would go to university and pursue a degree would be like, we've made it as parents. How was that received?
It was a hard situation because my nonna, so I'm Italian
Yep.
and Maltese. My mum's side is Italian. So my nonna, she was very much, go to university, go to university. So I tried to go to Monash. I auditioned to do theatre at Monash and then I did opera there,
Nice.
which was kind of interesting because I could have pursued a very successful opera career,
Mm.
but I immersed myself into it for 6 months and just thought, no, this is not me. I'm not disciplined in my mind to do opera. I was always going back to jazz, always.
Is it a bit more
So
free flowing in comparison? Is that how
I
you found it?
loved the nightlife. I
Okay.
loved the people. It was more like social for me. And my friends were there and I just related to it. I related to the pain in the music. I did not relate to German and French and I just not at that time of my
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Mozart wasn't your thing. No.
Well, it was with piano, but it was
Okay. Yeah.
never I
True.
did classical piano and I loved it, but I
Yeah.
always translated classical into jazz. I realized, oh, there's classical broken chords that make a jazz chord. Like everything was more like out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all connected one way or
It
another.
is.
So
It
yeah,
is
you could almost say that
totally.
Beethoven grandfather. Who knows? Like anything's
Yes.
possible, really.
It
So
honestly, it's
yeah,
all it's just different eras and different cultures and different styles. So
yeah. Okay. So we then okay. So you're happy where you are and at that point.
I was, yeah.
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 The path to idol. How did we get about to that?
So after I did the uni thing, I realized it wasn't my thing. I'd given it my best shot maybe 3 or 4 times, and writing music seemed to always lead me to really great opportunities. So whenever I sat down on my own writing a song and then I'd record it, I used to have this dictaphone. So I used to
Yeah.
record back then on my dictaphone.
I'm old enough to remember.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And so I'd play songs to people on my dictaphone and,
Yeah.
"Oh, wow, this is amazing. You should come and sing at this, or you should come and do that." And then I met a guy who was a guitarist and we formed a relationship. And so we started doing gigs together and I did the same thing with him, formed the band. But this time we had like 5 bands and I had like a jazz trio, a duo, a bigger band that we'd put together. And he was really good. The guitarist was really good at the production side of things. So we really balanced each other out in that way. So we ended up touring with the bands, and then I ended up getting booked as a solo artist
Yeah.
from those gigs. So then I started touring on a national level with other major big singers, like a singer called Bevan Adensall and Matthew Hetherington. And he used to
I know
sing
Matthew
with,
Harrington. Yeah.
yeah, he
Yeah,
used to sing
absolutely.
with Kate Sobrano.
Yeah.
And so then I got booked to do Hamilton Island shows. I got contracted over there. And mind you, I was like 22, 23, and I was doing recordings, like session recordings for jingles. And I was still living at home. No, I wasn't. We were living together. So I was out of home. I moved out of home when I was 19. So yeah. And then I did a gig with Kate Sobrano and Danny Minogue on Hamilton Island on New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
And all through that time while I'm touring doing these shows, people would come up to me and say, "Natalie, you should go on Australian Idol." And it went on for years.
What was the first time you heard it? What was the reaction?
I'm like,
What did
"I'm
you
never
think?
going on that show. I'm never going on that show. No way, no way, no way." And
It's only made superstars, but who cares, right?
I was scared to lose my freedom. I was
Yeah.
scared to lose my music, which I didn't even have because I was a closet songwriter at that stage. I'd be doing lots of session work, lots of big band stuff, lots of cover gigs, and then going home and writing songs till 2 or 3 in the morning. Like that was my life. And then teaching as well.
Yeah.
So
How's the brain working creatively at 2 or 3 in the morning? I hear this often that, like, all the
it's
creatives are doing
like
it late at night. What's it like?
It's like you go to sleep and you're
Mm.
exhausted, but then you just wake up and it's 2
Yeah.
o'clock and you're like, now I can't go back to sleep. My mind is racing. My studio's all set up. So I'm just going to go in. I have my 4-track recorder, just record and
Yeah.
write poems and then 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm done now and go back
Mhm.
to bed. Yeah. It was just this thing it was just I can't explain it. I don't
Yeah.
know. My
As a
creative
marketer, I can appreciate that. We're up all night worrying about campaigns that have gone wrong. So,
Well,
but we yeah.
I think that's the body and the mind wanting to actually, um, I guess, like, put like, if we don't do it as a creative, there's a regret there, and the soul doesn't seem to feel fulfilled
Mm.
because then it's like, "Oh, I didn't do that. I should have done that." So instead of having that mind, wouldn't it be better just to do it
Just to do it.
and
Yeah.
then feel good about it?
Sleep peacefully.
You know, exactly. It brings peace to the mind. And I think we are creative beings and that's part of our journey in life is to move forward and evolve in that way.
Well,
I
you said it
believe that.
yourself. No, you said it yourself. At birth,
I
we're
did.
born, we're creative, we have different ways of communicating. But then you get to 4 or 5, and you hit school, and you're just structured to think and act a certain way.
Yeah.
And over time, that creativity dies. But some hold on, like yourself.
Yeah.
Others
There's a
tap into it
fight.
later.
I
Yeah.
think when there's a spark there, there's a fight there too. And there's a
Mm.
determination. And no one can tell you otherwise.
Mm.
And some people will say you're stubborn. Some people will say, all these negative things, but it's actually a good thing, I think.
How do you deal with critics?
Okay, well, this all comes back to Australian Idol because I never had critics before. Well, actually, just before I went on Idol, I started to have critics. So when I started because when you do bigger shows, there's always screens on the stage. So you're up on a stadium, like there's
Yeah.
lots of people, thousands of people. There's screens, there's lights, there's engineers, there's a whole team of people making the band be amazing for these
Mm.
corporate massive functions. This is back then. I don't know if they still do this now, but this was like, I'm talking 2000s,
Yep.
2005, maybe 2003. Between those years, the Australian music industry corporately was thriving,
Mm.
and I was amongst that. So when I got on stage with Danny Minogue and Kate Sobrano, and Kate Sobrano is telling me I have this amazing stage presence and I need to go on a bigger stage, I'm thinking, I mean, what could possibly be bigger than that? Getting signed to a major label, having a music career maybe. And she's like, you're good with your movement as well. Like you need to move and dance as well, be on stage so people can see you. So
Well, you're
I
getting a
went,
fair blessing from the right people.
I know. So I went back home and I'm like, to my hotel room and I'm thinking, what can I do? And I just happened to pick up the newspaper the next day and there were audition callings for Idol for
Okay.
April for that year. And I thought, maybe I'm ready for this now. Maybe I wasn't before, but I'm
Mm.
confident. I have Kate Sobrano telling me I'm good
Yeah.
enough. I mean, that's for
She's in your
me.
corner. Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, that was enough. My family telling me wasn't that, they don't know. They just love me. They're my family.
Well, we can
But
appreciate that's an Italian family.
yeah,
It's,
they're
it's not as,
supportive.
yeah. Yeah.
They want the best for you, but maybe that's not the best for you, So when I heard it from her and a few other people, and then my boyfriend at the time, my partner, he was my first critic.
Oh, yeah.
He said to me, if you ever go on that show, I'm going to break up with you. And I thought,
Wow.
that's really mean.
Yeah.
And
Was that out of his character?
no, he was a little bit jealous,
Okay.
and when he didn't like it when I would get my own jobs, and then he'd be kind of stuck at home. And
The Italian?
well, no, he's not.
Okay.
I think he definitely had it in his blood, though.
Yeah.
And funny enough, he's now touring with other Idol singers, which is
Oh, there you go.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But I think he was just immature and he's thinking, and bless him, he's a great guy. But at the time, he was jealous. And
Yeah.
so I thought, okay, what do I do? This is like a theme here. It's a negative theme. How do I get myself out of this? And I went into high anxiety for like a week. And then I came out of it imagining if I did get through on Idol, what would be my life? And that inspired me and excited me. And
What did you imagine?
so
What did you
this is what I imagine. This is my small little brain imagining I could get a band, an original band. I could start playing piano in public because I'd never played piano in public.
So you want to
20
win Idol to play in public. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
To play piano in public with my band. That was in my mind what I
That's
thought would
wholesome.
happen.
That's the winning mentality we need, where it's like anything can happen, just
Yeah.
give it a go.
So in my little mind, I'm thinking exposure with my band, do some festivals, you know?
Yeah. Great.
And it wasn't like that at all.
Evidently.
It was so different. And yeah, so that was my mentality, just to get out there, get on stage in a different way with my own original music.
So we know the result, of course, and you've earned every percent of it, of
Bless you.
course. Um, when when did everything? What was the euphoric state like? I would imagine it was a euphoric state
After
when
the
you're not.
win or
Yeah.
during the time?
Well, the win and onwards, like how
Yes.
did you manage that? Because again, you had a different idea of what would happen if you won, and it was very cookie cutter, and then you get this you get this reality of what it's like to win. How did you battle that emotionally?
Oh, I really struggled.
Yeah.
I really struggled. I was in my own little bubble on that show, loving life. And of course, it's a high pressure situation, but I definitely thrived through the high pressure situations. I realized at top six or three, or, no,
Mm,
top six, my mum came up to visit and she said, "Are you sure that you want to go through with this?" Because she could see me changing,
mm,
and she could see that, it was like I either had to make a decision and step 2 feet in and just go, or let the others kinda take over and I just ride the wave kinda thing, because that's what I was doing. But
mm.
then when I got to top 6, I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to have earlier nights. I'm not gonna go out on a Saturday night in Sydney when everyone else is going out. I'm going to practice more. I'm gonna get my A game on."
Yes.
And that's what I did. And so I got into focus mode. Um, I had to do that anyway before I was on the show when it came to big corporate gigs and stuff. It's the same process. It's high pressure. You get booked a week in advance. You got to learn a whole set of songs. You got to, it's a really back then. The quality was really high.
Mm,
So and everybody supports each other. So that's the kind of mentality and approach that was on the show back then on Idol as well. The whole crew supported me. I was backed up every time I would go to John Foreman with a new arrangement. I got to speak to the band and the string arranger, and I felt like I was part of the show.
yeah. People were
It
listening. People
it
were like,
wasn't about
yeah,
winning. It was
yeah.
about doing the best I could be for the audience. And that's what got me through because I took out that competition mindset.
Mm,
But then when I got to the grand final, Matt Corby was on with me and he was really, really good. And I remember going into the bathroom before they announced the winner and I prayed to God in front of the mirror and I'm like, God, Matt Corby is actually really, really good. And this is not about winning anymore. It's just about, who you want to go further, like in this thing. Like, do you want me to be signed to this label? Do you want me to do whatever they ask me to do now?
mm,
If this is for me, I surrender it. So I
yeah.
let it go. And in
Pardon the
my
pun, but
mind,
it's like, make me your instrument, basically.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and in my
yeah,
mind, I let it go,
yeah,
and I not became the loser, but I didn't take the win before it was given to me. I accepted the fact that if I didn't get it, it would be okay.
yeah,
I can go home. I can do what I need to do with my life.
yeah, you have a lot going on anyway.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly. So I didn't hold on to it. I let it go. And then so when they called my name, I was expecting Matt Corby, so I didn't hear it. And then I said, "No, are you sure? Like, this doesn't feel right. This is not what I was thinking." And then they said, "No, we're not making this up." And they showed me the thing and it had my name on it. And then I just felt like I wanted to cry. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, I can't believe this." So, and then
Self-sabotage, my friend.
I just kind of went into a bit of a dream state after that
Yeah. Well, everyone sees
because,
the dream. What do others not see when you're in that kind of state?
there's a dark side to the music industry. And that came very quickly toward me in a way that I wasn't expecting, and
Mm.
I wish someone had have told me. But I think at that point in time, everyone else was living the same dream, doing the same thing, not realizing what was going on. Yeah.
On your speculation, you've said it now a couple of times that, the music industry was at its height in the 2000s. I would attest to that. I've seen a lot of stuff in Australia was at the height in the early 2000s.
It was
What's
a
been
good
It was a
time.
good time. It was a good time. I'm not gonna speculate at all. I'm just gonna ask you, what do you think's been its biggest challenge lately?
There's so many things. It's the government. The
Okay,
government and the media. They have had control. And I think during the time of the 2000s, 2007, the year that I won, was the
great year, by
day
the
of
way.
the election as well. Everything just changed. MySpace was around. That left a month later. Facebook came in. Everything shifted in 2007. There was a
Wow.
massive paradigm shift in the whole earth.
I actually agree with you. I always, because I'm not, look, just to give it away, I'm 40, so I was born in
Okay.
86. So I enjoyed the 2000s, right? So
Yeah.
I went to uni in 2007. I started late, by the way. I didn't go straight away because I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. Anyway, uh, but 2007, I believe, and I don't want to get political here, but to heck with it, that election changed everything in Australia. And you're right, there was a paradigm shift. It's like the Australia that we knew where we were more free flowing and we were like king of the world and music industry was killing it. Everything just changed like that.
Honestly, I have goosebumps. If you could see
Yeah.
the hairs on my arms, they are up. Like, it is the truth.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
I
the
think
honest truth.
as society, we went in another direction, but I digress. But I just thought you're the first person to bring that up. So that was the year that I believe everything changed for Australia.
And it
So
changed for the music industry.
at least we got you before it ended.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I just
Like,
made it.
honestly, yeah,
I
you
just
just,
made it.
yeah.
Well,
Um,
it's true. And I think some stars are meant to shine at certain times. And I knew that that was my time.
mm,
And I feel like I had to remove myself after that for a while and
okay.
then wait for my time again, you
Yeah.
know? And I had to
Did the
trust that process.
did the industry start, because you've won now at this point, it's beautiful, of course. It's a different dynamic. Did the industry start shaping you into a version of yourself that you didn't want to be? Was it to be commercially safer? How are you headed in that after that
I
win?
didn't understand the world and how the music industry worked with the world.
Mm,
So when I was doing my corporate gigs and working in the industry before that, I think I didn't ask the questions because I didn't know what to ask. So I just kind of got shoved into something, and whereas I thought it was a dream to
yeah.
to to get signed to Sony and all of that, and
Yeah.
then it is a dream.
I was gonna say you'd appreciate it. It
It
is what
is
it
a
is. Yeah.
dream. And it was my dream for so long. When I was 18, I remember I sent my first demo to Michael Taylor in America. And he said to me, "Keep writing and sending me songs." And you know what? I took that as an insult because I'm like, well, why don't you just sign me now and I'll keep
Um,
writing? Why can't you pay me to do this so I don't
yeah.
have to do my other jobs? And I didn't understand, even at that age, why. If he saw a talent in me, why didn't he just nurture that and give me that opportunity? So I kind of cracked it. And I just went, you know what? I don't want that. I want someone who's gonna give me what I deserve. Like, that was my head, at 18.
Yeah.
So, I did keep on writing, and I kept everything I had. And then so at the time when I got signed, and then, my A&R guy said to me the same thing, "Keep writing and sending them to me."
And you're
So,
like,
at
what's the
that
deal
point, I'm
here?
like, "You know what? I will."
Okay.
So, I took the opportunity at that time, but then I never got a response, like a response to my songs. But actually, that's not true. I did get a response. One of the songs got on the B side of Here I Am. So at that point, we were still releasing CDs and we still had A side and B side.
Mm,
So Here I Am was the A side and All in My Mind was a B side. And I was the only Australian Idol winner to actually have an opportunity to release an original song
great.
with, like, Here I Am was not my song. Here I Am was someone else's song that they gave me to sing. And Matt Corby was upset with that too. It's like, well, we're songwriters. Why don't you take us in the studio and let us write a song? Why couldn't
Mm,
me and Matt Corby co-write a song? Why couldn't it was a very formulated, what's the word?
it's just,
Agenda. I
yeah,
mean, it's the only, I
very
don't
formulaic.
know,
Yeah.
formulaic. It was
Yeah.
very formulaic. And so we were asking questions right at the beginning. What's going on? And so it was very confusing. I'll be honest with you, it was very confusing. And because there were a lot of drugs involved and, you get free
Mm,
drinks, you get free drugs, you get everything given to you on a platter. And at that age, I was invincible. I'm like, okay, well, I'm 26 now. Nothing's going to stop me. And it destroyed me. It
yeah.
destroyed me because I was confused. I was excited. I was overwhelmed. I didn't get my questions answered. And I would only get given little things, you
Yeah.
know, from the record label. And it was intimidating. It was
Yeah.
intimidating. And as a person who has suffered abuse in my childhood, it triggered me so much, and I turned into a high school 14-year-old girl, the abused 14-year-old girl to Sony, and then I just got my boxing gloves out and started fighting, you know? And it wasn't meant for me. That fight wasn't meant for me, but I took it on for some reason. Um, and then, yeah, quickly realized I wasn't ready for this big world that was there, and I needed to remove myself. Yeah.
Do you get any, you're in the top 6 and all that, right? Do you get, I mean, not that it's gonna help much, but is there any sort of mentor or anything that comes in and goes, "Okay, so if you win, here's what's gonna happen after, brace yourself." Do you get any sort of pep talk like
No,
that? No?
it was a different pep talk. It
Okay.
was, a manipulating one.
Right.
Yeah, it was like what you have to say to the
Yeah.
media. So, you're now in a new family. It's all about the
Yeah.
family. It's like the mafia.
You wouldn't be too unfamiliar, right?
So, I'm like, "Okay, this is my family now.
Yeah.
This is my family."
Wow.
Yeah.
You
And do
look,
you
you
know that stirred up like, as soon as that voice started to come in,
yeah.
I started to feel, "Oh," "okay, like this," and, the triggers,
Mm.
all triggers. It's like, and
Yeah.
I'm just, like, trying really hard to, "How do I do this? How do I do this? Oh, here's some drugs. Here, have some of these."
Wow.
You know?
Just being locked up in
Yeah.
a room and your parents are on the other side of the world. It's like I got no one to fall back on. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
my first panic attack, after I won Australian Idol, yeah. When I
Wow.
found out that I was touring 28 shows in Australia, I fainted on the floor. I was like, "What?"
Isn't winning enough?
Well, now that
Can't I
I
go
look
get my little
back
band? Yeah.
now that I look back, if someone had have said to me, "Okay, Natalie, your career's not gonna last forever with Australian Idol. We only have 2 years.
Mm.
You need to capitalize on this, but we
Yeah.
understand that you need rest. We understand that you wanna celebrate your win. We understand you wanna go party with your friends. If that happened, completely different story. If people had it, "Here's your family. We're gonna fly your mum over for the week to stay with you. Who would you like to come? Would you like your best friend to come? Yeah, let's bring her over."
Nothing. No. No dramas.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Who can I call?" I
Yeah.
still have nightmares about it. Like, I still have dreams where I can't make a phone call, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you are going back to '07 when not everybody had the smartphone wasn't around. So
No.
it's like, you got to find someone who's got a phone somewhere on a wall and give them a call. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Who's gonna
Yeah.
be awake? Who's gonna
Yeah.
answer my call at
Yeah.
10 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Now, everyone's awake every hour on their phone.
Yeah. You almost want them to go to sleep so you get a bit of peace.
It's the
Um,
opposite.
yeah. You've
Yeah.
you've been very open about the darker seasons in your life. On this particular occasion, what point did you go, "I don't recognize myself anymore. This isn't the Natalie that I was building."
So, after I had that panic attack, I remember I called my brother,
Yeah.
and we finally got to talk, and I think he realized, "Oh, this is what's happening here."
Yeah, okay.
And maybe he spoke to my mum, I don't know, but I was kind of ashamed to talk to my mum. I didn't want to tell her. I wanted to succeed. I wanted another number 1 hit record. I wanted everything to be the best it could be. So my ego took over big
Do you think
time.
it was I don't think your mum sounds like she would have been one of those told you so people.
My mum is one of the most loving, caring people,
Yeah.
but sometimes, like every Italian mum, they can be a little bit strong
Yeah.
and forceful, but they don't mean to be. And my mum was a bit like that. So she gets scared
Mm.
to tell me things because she doesn't know how to tell me, and she's going to get scared. I'm going to get upset and run away because I'm strong minded too. So it's a mother daughter Italian relationship, a typical one.
Yeah.
And I love my mum so much because I know that if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have had, the career um that I've had. Like she is the reason why. She gave me every opportunity as a child because she knew that if I didn't do everything as a child, I wouldn't be where I am because you can't learn things when you're 18.
Mm,
You learn them when you're young.
yeah.
And I know that for sure. It's so true how we absorb things as children.
You're so impressionable between like 1 to
Oh,
7 or 1 to 6 or something. So
so
everything you
I
learn, yeah.
absorbed music like it was food,
Mm,
right? It's like second nature to me. So now, as a mum, I can just play an instrument and sing. Give me a gig on stage tomorrow. I'm there and I know what I'm doing, but that's because of all the work I did as a child.
yeah.
It's not jumping up on Australian Idol and singing, oh, she's nothing to something.
Mm,
That's a lie too, right? That's a deception as well. People think, oh my gosh, she's just gone from this singer to this big star in 10 weeks.
yeah. It's
No,
like the
no, no, no,
Disney
no.
Cinderella moment kind of thing.
This
Yeah.
is this is me and my mum working through so many struggles to make me this star. Okay, there's so many aspects to this. I
So
mean, we probably
your
need
mum's on
2
stage with you.
podcast episodes to get through all of
I've
this,
got
but
time with you, Natalie.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I see the mic there, by the way, so I think I might get you to sing before we leave, but that's another
Okay.
conversation.
But, okay, so the question, I'll go back to the answer to the
Yeah.
question.
Do you take your mum with you on stage? Like, as in mentally? Is that how it is? When it's like me and mum on stage?
No,
No?
no,
No?
no.
I'm thinking too deep here.
I would love to take my mum on stage with me. I have once. Twice.
I just meant mentally, it's like, it's me and my mum. Like, that's how I process being out in that
No,
audience.
it
No.
was it's the opposite.
Okay.
It's like me on stage with probably God and the Holy Spirit.
Best people. The sun while
Um,
you're at it. So,
and sorry, my son's just with me now and he's asking me to look at his what are you playing there?
I'm in the Moon Kingdom.
You're in the Moon Kingdom. Awesome. Yep, he's
yeah,
playing
some
Super
ambient
Mario.
images for us. Yeah.
I haven't defeated Bowser.
He's defeating Bowser.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We
Yes.
don't like Bowser.
No.
No.
No. So when I left, so oh wow, that's amazing. And so when I left, I'll just put it into a bit of perspective.
Go for it.
So there were so many things that made me doubt Sony because it's come out in the public. Anyway, I saw it in an article. Damien Leith was the winner before me,
Mm.
and he released a winner's journey DVD. That's right. He released a
DVD.
winner's journey DVD.
Yeah.
So as soon as I won, all my fans were messaging me on Facebook saying, where's our winner's DVD? Like it was like this expectation.
Facebook, guys, just for
apparently-
context, Facebook, by the way.
Facebook
Yeah.
or MySpace, I don't
Yeah.
know, whatever it was.
They were fighting each other in 07, so don't
They
worry.
were asking me. So I got to see the fans on YouTube and Facebook and MySpace commenting to me outside of like the Australian Idol world, on television. So I'm like, okay, well, this is what people are asking for. What's going on? And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be doing what Damien Leith was doing. I'm going to follow in his footsteps and it's all going to be great. And then my first ever meeting with Sony marketing and my manager was to tell me that I'm not going to be doing that. And so this is like a shock to my system because the bubble was burst in that moment.
Yeah, you went in with this thinking like, Damien 2.0, it's going to happen.
And I thought, my whole world just crushed.
Yeah.
But you know why? Because I was actually crushing my fans' dreams. It wasn't even about me. It was about pleasing them. And that would destroy them if I couldn't do that. So I became like, my negative head started to really chatter after that. And I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. No one really understood. And I was alone in Sydney because I live in Melbourne at the time. So who am I going to talk to about this? I should have called my mom. I should have. But I found like I was better not talking to her because I could rationalize things in my mind. That's what I thought at the time. Okay. So my ego mind was a total distraction for me and a total sabotage. And so instead of telling my mom, I would hide everything and try and make everything good. take responsibility for everything in my own hands,
Mm.
So when the time came for me to go home and see her, it was Christmas. So months had gone by. I won in November, and it was Christmas Day they let me go home. I mean,
Wow.
that was pretty bad.
Yeah. Talk about
That
Scrooge.
that was pretty
Jeez.
bad. And I
Yeah.
wasn't seeing that at the time.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're on a bit of a high.
no, I was
No.
in anxiety, and I
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
understand why. But now I can understand why. Because I was trapped in a hotel where I couldn't breathe. And I should have been home. I should
Yeah.
have been home.
Yeah.
And the weird thing was, my A&R guy at Sony, he was in Melbourne too. So they should have just got me an apartment in Melbourne, right?
Mm.
But all the interviews and all the performances over New Year's Eve and everything, they were all in Sydney. Sydney is where the music industry was back then, and it probably still is.
Mm.
So I was torn, and all this chatter and all this anxiety, and then my panic attack, and oh my gosh, what is happening? So I go home the day before Christmas Day, and Mum's like, "Oh, we're gonna get to spend Christmas together. I'm really excited to see you. I've missed you." And it was like I was a shell of a person. She couldn't talk to me. And she's just like, "Where are you?" And I saw the tears rolling down her face, like
Mm.
she'd lost me. I was gone. I was gone. And she said to me that day, "I don't know who you are anymore,
Yeah.
Natalie."
That's in one day. That's in one day. What version of yourself did you start to grieve in that period? Sure.
She was grieving for me. I
Yeah.
wasn't grieving. I was
No?
still in fight mode. I was
Okay.
still in like what do they call it? Fight or
Fight or flight.
flight.
Yeah.
I was in that. So
Yeah.
imagine like somebody who's in that mode. Their eyes are wide. Their eye, everything is like numb and that frozen. And you can't think straight when you're in that space because your anxiety is so high.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, what do I do? I had people calling me up. "Oh, you're in Melbourne. Come and sign this CD for me. I voted for you. Come and do this. Come and do that." So I was in people pleasing mode,
Yeah.
and I was a robot, basically, a zombie, you know? And so I'm signing autograph, and I'm feeling sick in my stomach, Michael. Like I'm feeling sick doing all of these things. I
And
didn't want to do them.
were you feeling disconnected from the purpose altogether? It
Yeah.
was just like, yeah,
I'm
what
like,
is this?
so angry. I'm
Yeah.
signing this and I'm angry because, these are some family members, mind you,
Yeah.
on Christmas Day
Coming
asking
to
me
you
to
for,
sign
yeah.
signatures, and God bless them. But
Where was my phone call last Christmas?
boom.
Yeah. Okay.
And where are they now?
Yeah.
And my mum knew all of this. She knew all of this and she could see what was going on and she could do nothing. She tried.
Hmm.
She tried, and she was going through her own stuff with her marriage and things like that. So there was a big disconnect with the family because I
Yeah.
became an idol to my family and it was so weird. It was so weird. So yeah, and so I had to rebuild everything after that,
Yeah. You
after
became
those
an
years.
idol to your family, but you were idol to your
I became an
family.
idol to myself,
Yeah.
right? I mean, how disconnected is that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And an idolatry is a sin. I mean, it is something that, you're worshipping it. You're not supposed to be. And that's a whole nother story for
That's
another day.
I can have that podcast with you too. Trust me.
Yeah, we totally should.
Yeah, we will. You've reinvented yourself multiple times. I want to stay on this a little bit.
I can't believe it. Look
Searching
at this.
yourself.
That's
God's
so
in the
nice.
picture. I don't feel God was ever gone from what I've heard, but tell me
No,
at what
I
point
didn't know God at that
okay,
time as much as I do now. But now
tell me
that I
about the
do, I
spiritual
can
path.
see God working in my life, Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about that transformation because that's big to take on,
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I only have 5 minutes. Are we
That's
able to
absolutely
do like a
fine.
part 2
We'll do
or?
part 2. Well, why don't we ask 2 questions?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about finding faith.
Yes.
And then I want to ask you my signature question. What does comeback mean to you? And then we'll do a
Okay.
part 2 for the audience.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
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 So what was the first question again?
Tell me about finding faith again or finding it the
Finding
right
faith.
way.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Finding faith. Finding
Just
faith.
the
Finding
paperback
faith.
version. Yeah.
I'm going to talk about my experience finding faith. I'm not going
Please.
to tell anyone else how to find their faith.
Yep.
For me, it was about, am I being heard and why am I not being heard? So at my most successful time in my life, I felt like I wasn't being heard. How weird is that?
Yeah. That
There are
is
millions
weird.
of people, 3 million people watching me, and I don't know who they are. I don't know where they're from. How did this even happen?
Yep.
Okay. I'm having these anxiety attacks. I'm having, what is happening in my mind, negative chatter, all of the stuff we talked about. So my deep heart connection is, why am I not being heard? So what is it about Natalie Gauci that didn't feel like she was being heard? So this is going back to the little girl. The little girl,
Nurture that creativity.
it was about the creativity and about like practicing and discipline, but I didn't have a father figure in my life growing up. Like my dad was always working and he was always doing other things and things that I'm not proud of him doing now that I know. But when I was a daughter, a little girl, I didn't know God. I didn't know I was a child of God. I didn't know my identity. So music became my identity and almost like my faith. So I had to remove that to understand me as a woman and as a mum and as a child back then. What was I missing? So I had to go through all of that, and I nearly lost my life doing it, because I made so many bad choices. But thank God I did it out of social media. Nobody got to see that side of me, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
It's only me and God, and that I would never, ever show anyone. And that's okay. Like, we all need our privacy.
Yeah, we do.
But I found my faith in that time. I tried to change my name. I did change my name. The only way I could think of recreating myself is by changing my name. But then when I did that, I'm like, well, no, this hasn't changed anything. So I had to let go of the control and hand it over to the Almighty God. And then my journey started. And then eventually, after removing music again and then going into this whole like psychic medium thing, because I also have spiritual gifts. So I started like trying to use them, and I had to, go through that. And then God had to actually come down and say, you better stop, girl, and you better listen. And that's when I found Jesus, because I was so stubborn. I wasn't listening to God. And he said to me, music is the gift I gave you.
Beautiful.
And you keep running away from it. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not see this? And and that's when Jesus came to me and said, you take my hand and you take authority in me and you start commanding your life back, girl. Remove these negative spirits, these negative voices.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
And you start using me as your savior.
Beautiful. Love it.
And I got rebaptized and all. And
Oh, gorgeous.
yeah.
I love that. I love this story. This is what I wanted. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. That's beautiful, Natalie. I'm not even going to ask the last question because I know you got to go, and I want to hold you to account of a part 2. I think we need to
You
do
have
it.
me. I'm shaking your virtual hand.
Yeah, here we are.
You got me.
I'm going to say thank you for coming on the show. I am going to release this as a part 1 though. So
Yes,
thank you for
please
coming on the
do.
show. And we will see you in part 2. I want to explore spirituality, rebuilding, and what you're doing now. So we're going to look into it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic.
You take care.
Yep,
That
you
was Natalie
too.
Gauci, ladies and gentlemen, Australian Idol winner 2007. You've been listening to the Comeback Blueprint podcast with Michael Sawan. Real stories, real struggles, real comebacks. Follow these comeback stories on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and anywhere else you can find us on social media. And don't miss what's coming next.